Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to episode 2 of The Basement. You're here with your boy Derrick. You got Nick, Alec. What's up, fellas?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
It's good, y'all. Yeah, we making more moves, so it's good.
Yeah, right. It's the best off season to start in a while, man. It's like to have this much excitement on the first half of it. It feel like, yo, like we still gotta go to, you know, the draft, and we still gotta go to mini camp, and we still gotta see what number, there's a lot to see. So I'm excited, man. Uh, it's been a kind of crazy week for us. I think, we didn't trade some people, re-signed some people. I said that last week. So that's good. Hopefully next week we can just keep opening with trading and re-signing people. But it's been pretty good, man. And to start off that, the big trade of the week, Brandon Cooks, man. Brandon Cooks is a Dallas Cowboy. How y'all feel about that?
You go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, what you call it? One, I don't know if I went back to some old tweets and found one from 2021. I was saying Brandon Cooks got to be the most underappreciated receiver, and it's really because when he's never really had good quarterbacks. A couple times he had Watson for a year, had Brady, but he never consistently had good quarterback. But one thing Brandon Cooks, you watch ball, you know Brandon Cook's always gonna produce, bro. He always gonna give you 1,000, give you an efficient 1,000 at that too. And the best part about it to me is we finally got somebody who's not only a good receiver but has speed too. A lot of times they will bring in dudes with speed, but a lot of times they weren't like a complete receiver. But
Yeah.
Cooks, I was just reading some reports. Looks like he spends a lot of money, taking care of his body. I think that
Yeah.
comes from his sprinter background.
Yeah.
So he fast,
Yeah.
reliable hands, and the most important thing, what we couldn't get last year with receivers, gets a lot of separation. So
Right.
I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
I feel like it's a great fit. I feel like you know, when I before the trade, I mentioned Brandon Cook's name just because but when we let go of Coop, I really thought that a guy like Brandon Cooks he would be an even better fit than Amari Cooper was in the
right.
offense. I think just the speed element, the ability to. I think another thing that's underrated about him is he's a guy that you can put the ball in his hands
Yeah.
at the line of scrimmage, and he's a guy that's a threat to take it to the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think when you have more yak ability on the field, across from CD Lamb, it just puts a stress on the defense. And I think you really get into an area where I think right now you got the best offense that Dak Prescott's had in his career. I think if the O line really works out the way that I think it will, I think it'd be really close to 2016 O line wise.
Ooh.
Uh, yeah, if Terrence Steele comes back healthy and Tyler Smith is your starter at guard, and you get somebody to swing tackle, back up Tyron Smith. I think you really getting into that area. You can have the best uh, offense of Dak Prescott's career, and with one more weapon, I think you could have the best offense of Mike McCarthy's career.
Wow. Okay, so that one more weapon thing is huge right there. I want to come back to that. I just want to kind of get my 2 cents on it. And doing some research about Cooks, the mentality people have been kind of saying that the issue with him has been his kind of personality and how he can sometimes rub teams the wrong way because he wants the ball. You know what I mean? That's kind of the word on him or whatever. But I think I love that. That we got a guy coming like I want the ball because that guy in Dallas has always been a game changer. T.O., I want the ball, game changer. Diz, I want the ball, game changer. Amari Cooper was kind of like I'm cool back here. I'm not gonna rub too many feathers the wrong way. I'm cool
Right.
whether Amari Cooper might just look a certain way on the sideline in Washington. You know what I mean? Him and CD Lamb might be talking. Brandon Cook's gonna be talking to coach like, bro, what's going on? And just saying his mentality is he's coming the door. He wants to win. He's been to 2 Super Bowls already. And so for me, that's exciting because that's a hunger that, what I mean, you got some players in the league trying to make money. You got some players in the league just happy to be there. And then you got some players in the league that care about winning. I think Brandon Cooks is one of those. And I want to see how that rubs off on a CD Lamb, how that rubs off on a Michael Gallup, on a Jalen Toba, and even just the guys that aren't in the receiver room with him, just to see how he comes in and how he works. I think it's going to change, the philosophy on offense for us, man. We got some hungry guys, man. Could you get TP coming back? That's a hungry dude, bro. Cooks coming in, he hungry. CD trying to be the number one receiver in the whole league. So I think this offense has something to prove. And Cooks game bringing in a guy like that with a chip on his shoulder, like Odell. I don't know if Odell has that chip, especially if he really got the paycheck. You know what I mean? But Cooks getting paid 18 mil and still got the chip. So that's exciting to see, man. That's exciting.
I like what you said about, bringing to the Super Bowl, because I think like the past 10, 15 years, the way this team is built, mainly through the draft, so you're not really getting dudes who have experienced real winning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And now they're getting two dudes, not just Cook, you getting Gilmore in here, who's also been to a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes know what it takes to win, and I think, like you said, that's gonna help the locker room a lot for real.
Dude, this
and that was a great point. That was a great point, Derrick made. I didn't really think about that. Brandon Cooks he's a really competitive player. Mm-hmm. I think just add more competitiveness to the offense is a real asset.
Nah, Dev, this is my favorite picture right now. I don't know how it's gonna pop up on here. But this right here, they got the right uniform. We're gonna Photoshop that uniform. Yeah. When that happens at training camp, dog, come on, man. Like those guys are used to that drive to how to win, man. I'm so excited. I was watching him last night. I'm hungry. I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to play right now. Even in the Houston, like I'm trying to get up out of here. Like a lot of guys would say, why are you acting like that? But then I thought about like, man, you want to win, dog. I don't got many more years playing this level. I want to maximize it. So we're gonna get the best Brandon Cooks that has ever existed.
Right.
No, exactly, man.
Yeah, man. You don't gotta be that wide receiver one no more. And like it's like we talked about with Gilly, good luck covering him as the one. Like now you're gonna really need luck covering him and as a number two, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely. So this puts us in a great position because you fill another hole that you had. And that was a real hole in this team. We had the whole conversation about it last week on wide receiver. They just deleted our entire first episode. You know what I mean? They basically signed in and said, forget all that y'all was talking about. Now what, guys? So we got to kind of figure out and rework what this team looks like with Brandon Cooks. So what do y'all say is our biggest need at this point? And then how do you address that with the draft and heading into the draft? What does this roster look like heading into the draft?
Yeah, so I said the biggest need is – you want to go?
No, you go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I say our biggest need probably is as of now, because we ain't re-signed Hank, probably the interior defensive line.
Yeah.
That's really it. Like, if you were to look at this team on paper, they only put out one linebacker usually, so it's like good depth at linebacker. But I got faith in Damone Clark coming next year, and taking that step that when he's on the field, we good. You know what I'm saying? So right now, if you were to say a need on a team, like if you were to attack this team somewhere, it'd be right at that interior defensive line. You still got Osa, which is good, but Osa can really play 3 tech. He can't play nose one. He can't do that. Gallimore, don't really trust him on the inside either. So at this point, it's about bringing some big bodies in that joint and helping clog that run.
Yeah, that Gallimore thing is disappointing, man, because you want him to be the answer, but he hasn't been. And sometimes he has the flashes. Like Neville, sometimes I'm like, ooh, there it is. Like that Pittsburgh game, 2020. I was like, oh, we got one. He's here. Next year is going to be it. And then it's like he's not on the field. And that injury definitely hurt him. I think he had a lot of coming in 21. He had a lot of burn. He had a lot of hype coming in. He hurt his elbow.
Yeah,
it's kind of been loose since. But I agree. I think the interior of the D line is probably what you want to address, just because that's been our whole now. The interior of our defense has been the problem since 2018, since CJ Henderson and Todd Gurley ran for 300 yards on you. You know what I mean? So you haven't addressed that the right way. And I'll let you kind of say what you think about that interior of that defense, or you think any other holes we got too.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Yeah, the interior D line is probably one of your last needs, and I think just as important as O line depth. I think you gotta make sure that come November, December, you're not losing games because you're losing O linemen for a game or two, which is inevitable. You're gonna lose somebody. So I think having those two things, I think pretty much the roster is complete after that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, that sign that we made the other day. I can't pronounce my guy's name yet. He come from Atlanta, the
Yeah,
guard.
Shuma Idoga.
yeah, Chuma
Yeah.
Doga,
Is he a reputable backup for us, or is it just kind of like let's see how it goes?
Yeah, he's good interior depth.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's good
Like,
interior depth.
yeah, definitely depth. I wouldn't trot him out as a starter, but if you need to put him out there for a game or two, he's feasible. I just also want to hit on what you were saying about Olanda. That's why I was coming. I was listening to Brian Broaddus talking, and he was saying, I don't know what got into this team to start making smarter moves. They talking about Tyron is not going to be the starter. It sounds like he's going to be the swing tackle, and they're going to keep Tyler Smith over there, and they're going to let Idoga and maybe a rookie compete for the left guard position. So that's what Brian Broaddus said he's hearing right now. Usually, I mean, I'm sure y'all know Broaddus usually knows what's going on in that building.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if that's the case, that's another step of this team.
I like that idea.
What was that?
I like that idea. I think that conversation probably leads into draft conversation, but I really do like that idea.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, Philly shows that year after year that you can get, you know, good interior linemen, second, third, fourth round. So, you know, it'd be good to get some, you know, interior depth in the draft too.
Sure.
I got a question for y'all, right? I'm gonna give y'all a little pushback on that one because I get the idea of your backup being so good that if something happens, you have so much security. But at the same time, to me, besides being injured, Tyron Smith is still a Pro Bowler.
Right.
So to me, it's like that's like taking D Wade on the Heat and putting him as the sixth man, so D Wade don't get hurt. And it's like, no, I'm not. I don't want to do that. Because I understand Tyler had a lot of good bump at tackle last year. He really he played well. But him at guard and Tyron next to Tyron Smith, it might. I think that's just mind blowing. You know what I mean? What you can do with Tyler. We've seen what Tyler does when he gets on the outside. We can start getting him pulling and doing some crazy stuff like that. I would love it. So I don't know if Tyron being the backup is it because then you create a hole for yourself that realistically doesn't exist right now. Like you don't have a left guard hole. You can slide Tyler in there, have Tyron, and still get you some swing help in the second round. You can draft another tackle in the first round. I just don't know the philosophy of having Tyron on this team and not maximizing the potential just because you know he's gonna miss 3 games. I mean, he's gonna miss 3 games. As long as he doesn't miss the whole season like he did last year, you in good shape. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I would in there.
I'm with you. I think this year, I think I would prefer Tyron Smith is just starting left tackle and Tyler Smith is just starting left guard.
Yeah.
But if it came a scenario where they feel like, you know, I think it's inevitable that Tyler Smith is the future left tackle.
Yeah.
And they really like an interior guard like Veal or Cyrus Torrance in the first round this year.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't mind that idea to go ahead and get on with the future, your O-line, and really have a one last run with Tyron Smith.
Okay, I get that.
I get both. Well, my bad, go ahead.
I get that. If post-draft, if you end up with, like you said, Osiris or Avila or one of them tackles, Jones or somebody, then cool. You know what I mean? I understand it. So I get it. Post-draft, pre-draft is like, huh? But yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, no, I was actually about to just basically say the same thing. I was like Brother said it now, but today is March 23rd. You know what I'm saying? It could look a whole lot different August 1st. You know what I'm saying? So I get both sides of the coin. Like personally, if they think Tyler Smith is the future at, you know, tackle, I would put him out there personally, you know, because it ain't nothing that's gonna replace experience. You know what I'm saying? You can have him at guard, but that ain't playing him at tackle. You know what I'm saying? So I put him out there, and I understand why some people, like, you know, like you said, will want Tyron at left tackle and Tyler at left guard. But it comes to the point where it's like, you know, one, we don't want to stunt Tyler's growth, knowing with Tyron, you know, we love Tyron. He, you know, he's done so much for this team, you know, been a steal, everything. But, you know, we got to figure out how to, one, not stunt his growth, especially when it's kind of looking inevitable that Tyron's gonna miss a few games every year, you know. So I see both sides. But you know, that's the thing that, you know, now it's March. Let's look at that in August, and hopefully they draft somebody that, if they want that issue, like don't force a pick, but get the right pick. And
Yeah, facts. So I think we've addressed how the O-line situation can work, the puzzle pieces there, whether in the draft and on the team. The flip side of that, I know we mentioned the interior of our defense being an issue. Let's just start at 26, because at 58, no holds barred. But at 26, there's some constraints. At 26, who can realistically be of value and fix those issues? Do y'all think, you got your Mozzie Smiths of the world? You got a couple other guys out there. Give me some guys that you think may be able to fix interior defensive line at 26.
You start out.
I think Mozzie Smith is the only name that I know of that can help fix that problem at 26 that I've heard.
Is that a reach?
I'm not really sure. I haven't really put eyes on Mozzie Smith. I hear that he hasn't really been productive as a pass rusher. So
I've seen him. He's strong, man. I watched Mozzie and I was like, yo, Mozzie fire, dog. He's strong. He's impactful. A couple plays you watch, he got some good block share work, and it's good to see him go against some Big Ten folk. You know what I mean? And so when you see him go against Ohio State, and I love their center that they got. I can't think of his name, but
was it Luke Wright, something like that? Luke Whipple, something like that.
Whipple, yeah, like a Y and an R in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mozzie's a guy. Mozzie's a dude, man. He's a stout, strong. I think he's a little small. I think he's about 6 foot, but that's cool. He gets busy. I think Mozzie fits. It's just when I've been doing mocks, I be sending y'all my mocks sometimes. When these mocks, when I be doing them, bro, like it's tough because it's always Mozzie Smith or Bijan or somebody else that's crazy on the board, and it's like, I really need to fix my D line, but Slim, I gotta stay with it. I gotta keep up the Joneses. I gotta go get me try to get me an all pro in the first round every time.
Yeah.
So I always end up kind of trading back because it's like, all right, well, I don't know if I want to pick Mozzie Smith over the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to pick Greg Ellis over Randy Moss. I just don't know if I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think the defensive line is going to get weird. I think knowing Dallas, though, we're able to fix positions of need in later rounds. See, a lot of teams, they look at first round pick as the end all be all. We're probably going to fix defensive tackle in round 2. I think Texas has a guy too that's pretty nice.
You got I don't know how to pronounce it.
Mossy, something like that, right?
Yeah, his last name started with an O.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Then you got Keontae Coburn, who's also a D tackle at Texas. He play.
Yeah, so there's some guys on there. Some guys. I realistically kind of want an edge, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been mocking the edge, and I don't know. It probably can't happen, but they say CeeDee Lamb can happen. If Nolan Smith gets to 26, which he's been on my mock at 26 a couple times, it's real hard for me not to pick, bro. What do y'all think about an edge?
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say any D lineman. Just like I feel like if Dallas ends up picking an O lineman, you're not gonna question it because they hit rate with O lineman is just crazy. So I feel like a D lineman in the first round of any sort, and Dan Quinn I trust.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all boys have seen Siaki Ika from Baylor. He's a people mover too. He's not gonna get played with. He's good interior too for the D line. He eats up blocks. He's a big boy. He looked like he's like 330, 340. So he's not gonna offer much pass rush, but a lot of time I'm not really looking for pass rush too much with my nose tackle, especially because we plug everything up, get them to 3rd and long. We can let our pass rushers put their ears back. With our pass rush, now our secondary, that's going to be lights out. So that Northwestern kid too. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He plays the end, but I trust him more on that inside, like 4-tech, 5 years, like shading, and I don't really trust him too much as a true edge rusher, but you got a nice build on him, so you play D-line on the inside a little bit, not too much on the inside, but
I'll try it. I did two. Nope, that's it. Yeah. All right, so yeah, I tried, man. I got stuck. a guy I like at edge a lot. I seen him just be a monster at wrecking double teams and just being just a baller. A K-State kid, Felix and the Dookie Uzama.
Yes, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he's clever.
God, bro. I'm like, oh shit. Like he is double moving two guys out the way, getting to the quarterback. To me, he's the one that like Ngakwe, like them type of like them guys just come in and feast. Like he's going to be an 8 sack guy a year. He's going to get to the pass rusher immediately in the NFL. So the Felix, I mocked him one of my mock drafts, the K-State kid. He's a nice one. I think he might be my pet cat. So I guess this is a good transition over to our pet cat conversations and who you kind of watched and put your finger on is, hey, if Dallas gets their hand on that guy, I might do some jumping jacks. Who you guys got?
Y'all watch Will McDonald?
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but there's something when I watch Dan Quinn do these drills with these kids coming in and these watch them and the practices when they get them little shots, bro. Dan Quinn when he was coaching McDonald, his eyes was just he was excited, and then I'm like, yo, Dan Quinn make me want to just go out there and man, I love Dan Quinn, but I like McDonald. He good rusher. I haven't watched him too much. I've seen a little bit, but he looked like he got some potential. That's one of the guys I'm really watching right now. I got to get into him though.
Mine isn't on defense. Oh, I'll let you go ahead. I'll go after you. Let me see what you got.
Most of my pet cats is really offensive linemen, tight ends, receivers, all my favorite positions really. I don't really. The only edge that I have as a pet cat is BJ Ojolari. That's the only guy that's really a pet cat for defense. Got just a lot of guys they can bend.
So LSU, BJ Ojolari, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is he Aziz's LA related?
Yeah, it's his little brother.
I thought so. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. See, I'm like you. My pet cats ain't really been on defense. Honestly, they've been on I got a couple. Keaton Mitchell, ECU running back.
Yes. Burners.
Bro, he get on this team. He's going to wreck. You're going to hear about him all training camp. They're going to be like, dude, nobody can tackle this dude, man. He's ridiculous. 7.9 yards per carry. Like, he's ridiculous, bro. So he's somebody that every time he's there, I'm like, if we get to the 4th round and we still ain't addressed running back, I know it might feel redundant, but he might be Tony Pollard part 2. Real talk, and he gonna make Kevontae Turpin's life a little funny. You know what I mean? You better start cribbing something because he might come in and start taking some things to the house, and that our Turpin offensive dreams might go down the drain to keep Mitchell Gibson on this team. So yeah, I'm rocking with little dude, man, because he's a small guy. Anybody else? I like A.T. Perry. I mentioned him. He's a bigger receiver.
Yeah, Wake Forest.
Yeah, Wake. Fast.
Yeah, you can play.
Yeah. He's like 6'3", right?
Yeah, he's a big dude. Let's see.
I put eyes on him at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah. Yep, 6'3".
He was. I heard he was really efficient against a lot of those corners out there, experienced DBs at the Senior Bowl. So
he's crafty, man. He can get open. He can get the ball in his hands. I think he'll be able to play in this offense as well. And someone made a point the other day. I don't know. Maybe it was Vosh. Somebody said like Dallas has already addressed small wide receiver. I can't see them doing small wide receiver again. And I hate that you think like that, but it might be realistic. And if they decide that, hey, the rest of the our depth needs to look like our standard, then we're probably gonna be looking into those big. There's a Launders kid, Arkansas receiver, like him too.
He can fly too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how that goes. It's a lot of guys in this draft. Jaden, is it Reed? Not Reed.
From Michigan.
Yeah, Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed is his name. Michigan State.
Man, look.
His routes are crisp, man. I mean, he might be arguably might be one of the better route runners in this draft. Like honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He looked one of the more pro ready. Like even just you see his back shoulder work. A lot of his great catches, back shoulder catches. You don't see a lot of college guys having that in college. If he gets to the NFL, they're gonna be used to knowing how to run routes against. Because NFL, it's not like you're not gonna have much separation. So most of it's gonna be body control. And he has some of the best body control in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another guy I like at receiver is I really like this tape. I watched him a lot during the season at Penn State. I like Parker Washington as a slot. I just don't know if we would draft another Randall Cobb type.
Yeah.
But that's really reminds me of. He's like a Randall Cobb over the middle threat, really good, yak wise,
Yeah.
really strong and legs. Reminds me like Golden Tate once he catches the ball.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they would ever. Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, I wonder how much they would invest in like true slots now with CD being, so flexible with his position. You run X, you run Z, and run a slot. So I don't know if they'll ever like invest truly in a slot because of how much they want CD to have that position flex.
Right. Yeah, he's just too productive out of the slot. I think CD is probably the most productive. I think he's most efficient receiver out of the slot in football in terms of attacking on all three levels of the field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get him out the slot. I know a lot of people want him to play on the outside a lot more, but just the threat that he is when you really have true threats on the outside and he's able to work the middle of the field, the feel that he has to find the soft spot in the zone, I think it's too invaluable to take him out of that spot.
Exactly.
And the connection him and Dak have. We've seen it time after time after time. We get the jump, they're hitting at like a 85% clip, bro. We've seen this a year, bro. If you see when that yellow flag is thrown, CD is running right up the seam. He's taking the blows. So that's what CD gained his respect on this team, was being able to run up the seam and take the shot.
Right.
And he's done it time after time after time. And I think that's his calling card, like you said, his ability to go inside. I think Brandon Cooks gives him the ability to go outside. And if you can add a dominant, because the thing about the draft is that I love is it's not a mock draft. Our mock draft is an algorithm that's going to take the best player on the board. We're going to get to April 27th, and them teams are going to lose their damn mind. And they're going to start drafting anybody. And then we're going to get 3 top 45 players somehow, some way. Guys going to 3 top 45 players at 90, and you're going to be like, whoa, how do we get Trenton Simpson at that number? Or how do we get Jalen Hyatt at that? You know what I mean? So I think if Dallas finesses it the right way, you can. Because I was just thinking, I dreamed all night. I'm like, yo, where do you end up with Bijan and Darnell? Your offense was already here. You said
crazy.
2016 ain't gonna be able to smell this if you end up with Darnell.
The point of attack is just is done.
Darnell is gonna give you a third O tackle that can leak out and catch some passes. So
shit is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Or you go Nolan with a fall and then Jameer fall. What happened to with Nolan Smith and Jameer? You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's my expectation for the draft. I think the draft is gonna go just like that. Or you get Avila and Gibbs, and now your offense, like you know what I'm saying? So many different combinations. And I think what we're gonna end up with, man, it's gonna be something like this team. We haven't even seen what this team is going. The draft is so important now. I don't want to give up no picks. Don't give up no top 3 pick, right? Like, hey, trade that third for him. No, right now just stay pat. Absolutely. So looking at what we already have, though, y'all, what are your expectations from some of the guys that's on this team to take some more jumps so we can say, okay, maybe not draft a corner because you got 5 of them, and Izzy might turn into corner 3, and then you know what I mean. So, what guys on this team do you think have the ability to take that next step this year?
I'm looking right at Jalen Tolbert. I think Jalen Tolbert, to be able to settle into a wide receiver 4 role, I think is pretty important in Mike McCarthy's system. You look over the history. I remember when they won the Super Bowl, Jordy Nelson was a wide receiver 4, and he really made his hay at that position. So I think Jalen Tolbert should be able to find some production this year. And if not, I'll be really disappointed in a 3rd round pick in his 2nd year. Not because I think it took Michael Gallup about 2 years to really get in the gear as a receiver. So, Jalen Tolbert's the main guy I'm looking at, and Kelvin Joseph. I think our top 100 picks, I really want these guys that when you have a role as a corner 4, I know he has a role on special teams, but you should be able to compete for corner 4 and those dime packages to get on the field is that 4th corner.
I think they gave up on him a little too early last year.
Yeah.
They gave up on them and then brought in guys that were worse. And I'm like, you got the Raiders dude out there, and he's getting destroyed against Washington. Sam Howell literally threw at him every single play. And they're
Right.
throwing deep balls at him. Get Mullen off the field.
Yeah.
Like, get 37, 39, whatever number get Brandon Carr off the field. What is he doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. What you
Yeah.
think?
I think it's man, if you being real, Kelvin got the tools to be the best corner on the team. It
Right.
seems like the issue is just the professionalism, the mentality, the just being a smart, consummate professional, which, like that's fine. You could be immature in college because they're gonna hold your hand if you're the star player. But in the NFL, you can get replaced like that.
Right.
You're not above anybody for the most part, unless you're at that, top 1% of the players. You know what I'm saying? So, I would love to see Kelvin take a, big step. Willie, I would,
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully, but
Hmm.
I hope so because, like I said, he got the tools to be the best corner on the team. Next, I love what you said about Tolbert, man. I think coming from a small school, and as much as people will shit on Kellen's offense, there's things that are actually real complex about it, like the
Right.
option routes and stuff like that. And I think that, what you call it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think coming from a small school and getting to the
Nuance.
what was that?
I say like that nuance of the offense.
Yeah, and it took him some time. Plus, he popped the
Yeah.
head, and it was just seemed like a rough go. And I saw him. They were doing an interview with him a couple days ago, and I saw him say, I needed that. You know what I'm saying? So looks like he's focused. I saw some pictures. He's been working out with that. Let's get this money, Tolbert.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad man. We scouted Tolbert, so we know what Jalen Tolbert skill set is. I don't
Right.
think he got to show any of it. You know what I mean? And I think that we needed him to play a role in this team that he just couldn't fill. You know what I mean? And hopefully we can let him have a little bit more individuality in his position this year and go deep and give him shots. Like, we don't even know what a deep shot that Jalen Tolbert looks like. We didn't throw one at him. We didn't
Right.
let him go high point the ball, and we didn't let him go make an amazing catch and wave at somebody on the way in the end zone. Like, we didn't give him those opportunities. So I would love to see us try to do that, and see what it looks like. I want to see him get targets, and the preseason is going to be big for him. He needs to go and have a good preseason. He has to have a good camp. Like, he's not going to show up week one and just be like, oh, I'm good now. No, you're gonna have to build up to that, and we're gonna know by week one in October is what we need him to be in that. So yeah, I think for me, year two guys, I think it starts with Sam Williams.
Sam Williams, right?
Yeah, I remember Hollywood, from like the '70s, from Doomsday 2 defense. You know, I'm talking about Hollywood 56.
Yeah,
Because,
I know. I think I know you. I know you're talking about.
yeah, so he from like Doomsday 2, the '70s, late '70s Cowboys. Hollywood Henderson. Yes, I think his name's Tommy Henderson.
Oh,
Dude,
Thomas. Right.
dude, Hollywood Henderson is Sam Williams, dude. When you watch Hollywood, I'm like, that's Sam, man. It's just that kind of versatile in linebacker. Because Sam really could probably drop back and do some 3-4 stuff and get out in space for you a little bit. I mean, you try to do that with Law, he can definitely do it. And so for me, I think the year two for Sam Williams looks like more time on the field, more production. You got to stay on that NASCAR package too, because they might bring in somebody else. So to you know what I mean, if you want to be out there with Micah and D-Law and Dante, and you got to make sure you're able to get to the quarterbacks. I need to see some extra moves. I need to see counters to certain things. I need to see some spin moves. Can't just outmuscle everybody now, Sam. You got to put it all together. But I think a year or two in Dan Quinn, I think Dan Quinn's going to have the same impact on Sam Williams that he had on Michael Parsons, because they seem like they just want to learn from him. Like, you know what I mean? And the connection they made last year is a big deal. So for me, Sam Williams and Israel Mukamu are the guys. Mukamu going into year three. I love Izzy. Like, that's my dog, because year one, Izzy to me was trash. Then I watched him kind of progress on some Terrence Steele stuff in the offseason. Like I told y'all last week, I seen him in there with AJ Terrell. I seen him in there with some of these elite DBs. I'm like, okay, he's working with the right guys, because JC, he was with JC, his boy. So Horn, I was like, okay, he's in the right rooms doing the right drills. That last preseason, he went out there, had like 2 or 3 picks, had a pick against the Chargers. I'm like, okay, Izzy might have had 2 against the Chargers. I'm like, he's starting to make some rolls, and then he didn't get the chance to get on the field during the season. But Dan Quinn did something super important in that 49ers game by letting him play and start. And he played tremendously to me. And it showed me, like, I think he's a trustworthy guy. He's versatile. He can play your safeties and your corners. And he's a big dude. If he can play a slot position for you, Deron Bland gonna have some smoke, because Izzy is big. He kind of reminds me of a corner version of Jerron Curse. And if he can kind of learn how to be a tight end blanket guy or a slot blanket guy, J. Lou, Deron Bland, and Izzy gonna be a crazy nickel battle in camp. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's how I look at it. I think those are the guys. Sam Williams and Izzy are the guys that can make the biggest jumps, especially on defense. Tolbert, I mean, we'll see. I just can't have too much hope about it, just because, you know what I mean. But I think that's where I'm at with it.
Right. Sam Williams, I think that's a big it's a big point to make. I think if he progresses like we would like him to, I think you could inch back to where you were when Randy Gregory was here as your third rusher. And that was just a scary place to be playing against Dallas. I think as a total defense, they probably wasn't as good. But just on second and long and third and long, it was just you already know what's going to happen. And so I would like to get back to that, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that's the best version of Dallas. I think it allows Dak Prescott to be at his best, just when you know that anytime we get second and long and third and long, something bad is going to happen for the other team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I say, very excited for Sam Williams, man. Because last year, we being real, he didn't know how to play football, bro.
Right.
He didn't have no moves. He just went out there and said, I'm a beat you. Like, I'm just be straight stronger than you. I'm gonna be faster than you.
Yeah.
I like that he plays violent, man. Like, you see him tackling dudes. He not just tackling them. I mean, he hitting them with the Kurt Angle suplex and all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he going hard, bro. Like, and the one thing I like, especially, even though he wasn't refined with his technique and everything, he was still playing the run at an extremely high level. Like, for, you know, somebody that, you know, is a rookie and, you know, coming in, not as frequently, you know. So Sam Williams, you know, he gonna just watch.
Yeah, man. And that's why I'm like, the draft. If you end up with, I know I've said his name a couple times, but if you end up with Nolan Smith, I will literally just lose my mind, bro. I don't understand how you're going to, like, we're going to have to put in a rule for 12 to allow 12 people to be on the field. Yeah. Because we're going to have, like, yo, I got 12 starters. They're going to be like, nah, but we got 12 guys that can do this. Like, we have that many players, man. We're going to call it the 12-man defense, because we're going to have we're going to have a wealth of riches. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm excited to see the draft, man. Whether you go offensive side heavy, or you go on the defensive side and you end up with a Nolan Smith or a Trent Simpson. Those two guys, to me, come in and just with what we have already, Simpson and Nolan, I love what they come in and do for your defense, because you just don't have to sit them one place. You can do versatile, and that's what we're gonna need because to get on the field in Dallas, you're gonna have to be versatile, bro, because you're not gonna be doing what you're used to. And those two guys have the ability to play a lot of different positions. And so I'm excited to see what we do, man.
Would y'all draft a corner?
No. Absolutely. I would draft anything. Yeah. I would draft any position now. I think you're there now. You can just draft the best player.
I'm about to say, because like I see what you're saying, because we have so many, Derrick, but man, you can never have too many corners.
Right.
You can never have too many corners. And then one guy I really look at is like somebody that can come in with a smooth transition, you know, take it slow. If he was there round one, and then next year just take off and replace Gilmore, is Deonte Banks.
Right.
Like, you know, you got the size. He's a freak athlete. I mean, fast, jump out the gym, everything. So, you know, I was just wondering, because, you know, we like Izzy, we like all these guys, but, you know, we potentially have somebody that could, in the draft, that could, you know, segue us in the next year, you know, transition comfortably.
It's not that I don't want to draft a corner, because that's my favorite position to draft, to be honest. But right, you know, I love corner, but at the same time, it's just like I want to draft like we get to draft again next year. You know what I'm saying? So corner is a need for you next year somehow, some way. Then draft one next year. But I just feel like right now you have to get the players that can produce. I don't want nobody on this team that's not producing year one. This year, because the team is set up so perfectly for us to make a run. So we got to do whatever we can to feel that. That's why I'm cool with the guard conversation we've had. They can produce because we're gonna have an injury, or if Tyron wants on the bench, that's cool with me. But a corner at this point is like I'd be cool if Keely Ringo's there in the 3rd round, draft him, because it's a lot of people knocking his game, but I love the speed and he's in position. I like the way that he turns his head around and the speed. It's hard to outrun that dude, bro. Like you can watch it. It's hard to outrun Keely Ringo. And if he's there in the 3rd round, if he falls like that, or he's there in the God forbid the 4th round, I don't know. Draft him. You know what I'm saying? But a top 90, top 50, top 60 pick on the corner, I just don't want to do it because I'm like, you passed from the running back, you pass on the tight end. I would take Michael Meyer over one of the tight at the corners at this point. I'd take maybe Musgrave. I'd take Laporta over one of the corners. You know what I mean? I just want somebody that can come in and win their job.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And that's a good problem that we low key have though. That it's hard to draft somebody that's going to be able to start right away. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
I get what you're saying, but this team is so, deep. Like I've never seen this team.
It's stacked already pre-draft. This is a stacked unit. I think it's already better than the team it was last year.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is like we usually go into the draft with a need or two here and there, but this year they did it right. They was proactive instead of reactive. Like last year we had to go into the draft. We knew we had to get a DM. We knew we had to get a receiver. We knew we had to get what's called O-line.
Yeah.
Now I don't know who they drafted in round 1.
Right.
So
any situation where you have like one of the draft's best players fall to you at 26, I don't care if it's Smith and Jigba, Nolan Smith, one of those tackles, Paris Johnson, what's the other one? Jones.
Yeah,
DeJuan Jones.
Yeah. If you got one of these premier talents fall to you at 26, even if it's not a position of need, I think you're in a position to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And figure it out from there.
Right.
And then the thing about it is like we know that Dallas has draft philosophies. 2021 or 2020's draft, it felt like was a BPA draft. We end up getting CeeDee Lamb, we end up getting Trayvon Diggs. They were trying to get luxury players. And then 2021, 2022 were coaches drafts. They let Dan have the first one.
Dan
and
was
last year, man.
Dan was beating the table.
Yeah. Dan picked 10 defensive players and 9 defensive players. We'll draft, my guy. They said write down 15 names and we'll draft half of them. This year, I think you go to the coaches again and you ask like, what do you need? And I think you might. This is going to be a second point. You might just say, hey, what do you need to fulfill your defense? And he might say, I need a weak side linebacker. Even though, you know what I mean? And then Mike might say, I need a guard. And then if you go linebacker guard, I'm cool because those are the positions that you needed. You know what I mean? Instead of, I just really want guys that can play, man. Like I'm telling you, I do not want to draft these guys. And they come in here and they like Tolbert and we don't see them all season. And we got to project every year too. Nah, man, I'm trying to get some Micahs. I'm trying to get some Lambs, trying to get some Diggs out there that I can see them play year 1 and see what we got. Piggybacking off that, do y'all think we draft the quarterback?
Eventually, yeah.
I think it's going to happen.
They got to every year. I would think. I don't care if you have Patrick Mahomes. You never could not have another quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Just because it's McCarthy's philosophy,
right?
It's not the kind of draft it was like you just talking about with DQ where you need to restock the defensive depth. I think you're at a point where you're restocking offensive depth, and you're probably going to draft they like Max Duggan. I think he's like the perfect kind of guy to be a backup here eventually. Probably like a 5th or 6th round.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm staying away from Duggan, man.
Hey, I really don't care who Dak's backup is. It don't matter to me.
I personally, when I'm drafting, especially that late in the draft, I'm trying to get a scrambling quarterback. Because if shit hit the fan and he got to come in.
Yeah.
He probably not going to be able to throw well enough in the NFL and make some chaos running around, I guess. So, Cunningham, Dorian Thompson, what's his name? Dorian, UCLA kid.
Yeah. UCLA. Yeah. I haven't watched many of the late quarterbacks. You can run the Eagles offense. But they back.
We just want quarterback sneak and have our
Right.
right push them through.
Just going to not throw the ball.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
run.
So
I don't know. I've been seeing some weird things. Hendon Hooker. I've seen him in the third. I've seen him in the first round. I've seen him in the first round. Daniel Jeremiah, DJ's mock yesterday had him in the first. I was like, ooh, that's weird. But I'm telling y'all, I think I'm praying that Dallas don't do this, guys. But something is telling me that Dallas is going to do something to throw everybody the hell off very soon, and not nothing in a bad way. It might be picking a quarterback earlier than we think, man, because Dak got picked in what 135, it was 4th round.
Yeah, 4.
Ah, man, what if they go quarterback at 90, y'all? There's a really good quarterback on the board.
And now you talking. That's a pick that'll piss me off.
Yeah.
Yeah. See a top 100 pick on a quarterback while Dak Prescott is in his prime. That's something that I would never forget that.
They gonna start off the offseason cooking and they go get a quarterback at 90. Man, that's bullshit. I'm gonna be flying
because if we don't make it to the Super Bowl, you know what we're gonna do, right?
What?
We're gonna come back to pick 90. It'll be like, hey, you could have got said corner that went to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
In his rookie year.
There's gonna be somebody there from 91 to 100 that they're gonna be pissed they pick a quarterback over.
I know. To me, it's two ways though, bro. I feel y'all, but God forbid Dak had to miss some games, which he's had to miss time over the last 2 seasons, and you had a guy that you could throw in there and like really be okay with. I'd be happy as hell to have this roster and something happen and you did have a Hendon Hooker. I'm just saying, if you had a guy, even if it's in the 4th round, I don't know what this draft scale is going to look like. I don't know who's going to be available. If you pick one in the 4th round and he could come in, because Cooper Rush, we know what Cooper Rush is, bro. To the rest of the league, they think Cooper Rush is Tom Brady. We know Cooper Rush is this much better than Gilbert.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think it also showed Cooper Rush getting paid from us barely anything. Yeah. Let's calm down the Cooper Rush stuff for real, because some people was just. We know why some of these people were saying it, because but
so y'all want like a Tyler Huntley type situation where where your starting quarterback go down and we really flexing this ground game now.
Yeah,
and it's really.
I'm rocking.
I wouldn't mind it.
I'm not too big on Hooker though, because it just seemed like that offense was just so. I think Heupel's offense is so dumbed down that I don't know if it's going to really translate to the NFL.
Yeah, I feel it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I'm just trying to prepare myself. That's like the only thing that'll piss me off is them going ahead and pick back early, and I just feel like they're going to outsmart themselves and be like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're gonna get a quarterback, and I'm gonna be like, damn, all right, I told y'all. I told y'all they was gonna do it.
Hey, but, for real.
Yeah, man. I think it's about time to wrap up, fellas. It was a pleasure, man. It was a pleasure kicking it with the guys, talking to these Cowboys. Hopefully, we got something great to talk about next week. I hope they do something cool.
Well, for sure. Buckner's on the trade block, so
yeah,
Dallas might want to call up about that.
Yeah. I would love it for his Buckner.
Oh, yeah. What do you gotta give up to get Buckner?
I would guess with his salary. I would guess with the rate of all these other guys, I think you would think his value is a 2, but I would say take a round off of what you think it is in this market. So maybe like a 3 or a 4.
Ooh, you
got some kind of package starting with a 3.
Yeah, I think you got to give him a new deal too. It sounds like you got no guaranteed money left. So
yeah.
I ain't trying to give out too much more money. We got money to give out.
Yeah, he's 30.
Now 15.9 million.
Yeah, Jay can say I ain't trying to give out no more.
Yeah.
Want to take a pick up?
Steven made some moves. Eddie got his cap. He kind of like, all right, y'all got a little bit, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna do something called the cap check real quick. Nick, who you won the first round? One name.
Give me Bijan.
I told you. Look at this. That's not cap. Look at this. Look at this T-shirt. He's manifesting. Look, y'all. I said somebody earlier. He's like, yeah, man, Sweet 16. I'm like, no, you're manifesting. I know exactly what you're doing.
I got to take Bijan every time, man.
Yeah,
and I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have a jersey the next week.
That's lit. He ain't cap though. That was the cap check. I thought he was gonna be like, oh no.
Nah, give me Bijan.
Cap at 100. That's real. All right. So all right, he is. He trying to get that Robinson. But hey man, appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, hit us up on IG. Mudaman99. What's y'all IGs? I have
put them in the description.
I'll put them in the description. So I got them in the description. Follow us. Have a blessed weekend. See y'all next week. All right, fellas.
Go Horns.
That's it.
That's it.
Good job. Woo!